It's 2 a.m. Jesse's sitting in his truck outside a house that's not his anymore. His engine's off, phone lit up in his lap like a glowing accusation. 3 missed calls, 1 text he can't even make himself open. He's got his hand on the door handle and he can't decide if he's going to get out and go up there and knock or if he's going to drive away for good. Now here's the thing. 6 months ago, Jesse would have told you he never felt so free in his life, baby. Do anything I want to do. What's funny, though, is how free keeps landing people in parked trucks at 2 a.m. staring at a door they ain't got the guts to even go knock on. Let's back this up a little bit, okay? Jesse didn't wake up one day and decide to wreck his life. Nobody does. It's slower than that. It's 1,000 small permissions. He grew up hearing don't a lot. Recognize that? Don't do this. Don't do that. Do not think that, whatever you do. And somewhere along the way, he decided that the don'ts were the problem, not the desires. So he flipped the script. New rule. If it's true to how I feel, then it's true, period. Who's it hurting? I'm a grown man. I get to write my own rules. I think a lot of us know that that's not a philosophy. It's more of a marketing slogan. Of course, it has been selling pretty dadgum well for about 6,000 years, ever since a snake in a garden asked a woman, did God really say not to do that? Jesse didn't reject God's design because he studied it and found it lacking. He rejected it because it cost him something he wanted. He wanted a version of freedom that didn't cost him anything. But that's not freedom, right? That's just sin and better lighting. Here's what nobody told Jesse. Genesis 2, before sin ever shows up on the page, God's already laid down the blueprint. One man, one woman, one covenant, becoming one flesh. Not a rule dropped on humanity to ruin all the fun. Dude, it's a rule built into the architecture of the universe. The way gravity is kind of built into a bridge. You don't really experience gravity as oppression till you jump off the bridge. And then you act surprised when you hit the water. And it probably kind of hurt a little bit too. But here's the twist, though, that'll mess with you if you let it. What culture, social media, news, media, television, what they call the cage, self-control, covenant, boundaries, saying no to your own desires, that's not a cage. That's the load-bearing wall of the house. Galatians 5 says the flesh and the spirit are at war with each other to keep you from doing the things that you want to do. Read that again. God's not stopping you from freedom. He's stopping you from a want that would have collapsed the whole house. The cage was never the boundary. The cage was the lie that told Jesse he could have everything that he wanted with none of the costs. When has that ever held true? See, here's what our culture sold Jesse, and he's selling it to you and me both right now in every social media platform that we go on. Desire is identity. Desire is identity. If you feel it, you are it. Denying it, it's denying yourself. But nobody actually lives that all the way out, do they? I've never seen anybody do it. You don't let a 2-year-old's desires define his identity. That's how you end up with a toddler eating cake for breakfast every day of his life. You don't let an addict's craving define who he is. That's basically how you wind up burying him. You certainly don't let an 8-year-old decide that they want to be a different gender and then send them to a doctor and have them permanently scarred for the rest of your life. If you can't decide when you go to bed at night, you shouldn't be able to decide your gender. Story for another day. But here's the deal. Self-denial is not the enemy of a good life. It's the entrance fee. Jesus said it plain. Anybody who wants to follow him has to deny himself and take up his cross daily. Not deny himself as if some grim little sacrifice. Deny himself because the version of Jesse that gets to run wild and unchecked, that ain't the real Jesse. That's the broken one. That's the cursed one. That's the one living in the world east of Eden where everything is a little bent, right? Including his own wanting. And can we talk real quick about the who's it hurting line that everybody uses? Jesse asked that in a mirror at 1 a.m. more times than he'll ever admit, except it's hurting the woman who trusted him with the covenant. It's hurting the kids who are going to grow up now asking, why doesn't home feel safe? Where's dad? It's hurting Jesse, who's now sitting outside a house that he used to call his home, unable to even knock. Who's it hurting? That's the last thing a drowning man asks right before he goes under, dragging down somebody with him. Our God is not tolerant of the thing that's killing you. He is patient with you while he works on killing the thing. So Jesse's sitting there, right? Hand on the handle. And here's what changes. It's not the circumstances. It's not the mess that he made. It's him. He stops asking, what do I want? And starts asking, what does the Father say? And for the first time in 6 months, that question doesn't feel like a cage, right? It feels like the first solid ground that he stood on in a long, long time. He doesn't drive away. He knocks. Not because knocking fixes everything. It does not, especially not that night. But because repentance isn't a feeling, it's a direction. It's turning around, right? And turning around, even at 2 a.m., even after everything, that's the whole gospel right there in one motion. If you are sitting in your own version of that truck tonight, if you're parked outside a door somewhere, a decision, a desire that you built your whole identity around, hear me, okay? The cage was never God's design. The cage that you're in is not God's design. The cage is the lie that told you that freedom means no walls. Real freedom's got a foundation. The man who built it, he already paid to let you back in. Think about that. Guys, if this message hits you, like the video, drop a comment, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and please share this with anybody who might be going through something like this, or who needs to hear more about Jesus or what it means to be a Christian. As always, you can find me on X, YouTube, and Instagram at xmikemac, or just visit me at xmikemac.com for everything right there in one place. And remember, the world is going to push back. When it does, say something. Love you guys. See you soon.